All right, so this is a word on discipline. It took discipline to make this video. It took discipline to go on my walk today. Really did. One of those days. I didn't feel like, because I didn't have to do anything today. I don't have to do anything today. And I had to be disciplined. I had to be disciplined. It's a good practice. I would implore you to do word studies, searches, etymology studies on certain words, especially words that we say a lot, that we can often trivialize, minimize. The word discipline. I did my word study. Latin, disciplina, meaning instruction, teaching, knowledge, science. Okay, it's got all these points to all these ideas. The root is disciplis. Okay, pupil meaning pupil, uh, a learner, student, and it's related to a word discere, discere, to learn. So these are all Latin-based words that point to these ideas. You always have to go to the root of something to really understand what it means. Okay, so originally the instruction was given to a disciple. Okay, so discipline is training that produces certain type of order, obedience, self-control, and obviously towards the fulfillment of a worthy ideal. A disciple, also from that same disciplis, Latin root, meaning a learner, a student, an apprentice, and then Greek was the student, the learner, the pupil. Okay, and so a disciple is one who follows a master, a teacher, for the sake of growth and formation. It's a formative relationship, discipleship, discipline, disciples, discipleship. Okay, okay. So the process of being a disciple, following a discipline, learning, following, becoming formed by the teacher. Okay, so we as men, it's our duty to follow the ultimate master teacher, and that's um, our brother Jesus, the Christ, and of course we look to God as our source, right? Um, Learning under authority, submitting to an authority. That is one of the downfalls of mankind, is when they fail to submit to authority. Now, me, I'm a rebel towards authority. Anybody who knows me knows I've rebelled against authority many times in my life, I've rebelled against my almighty authority. But I strive to not do that and have that reverence towards the almighty authority. Every man should have that reverence. Okay, it's a whole life formation when you take on discipline. It's not just intellectual; it's the process. So I'm a disciple. Being a disciple, I'm being a learner, and I have a discipleship with my teacher, and I do have actual teachers in real life. So it's important to have the mindset of being a learner and the process of being a disciple and having your own disciples. Hello.
Hey, Rafa.
So we think of being a disciple. We think of the Bible, how it's used in the Bible, especially in Acts and the Gospels. You know, John says, "If you abide in my word, you truly are my disciple." Okay, the Great Commission: go and make disciples of all nations, teaching them to obey. Okay, so you're not just a learner; it's a follower. You're a committed learner, one who is initiated and who imitates the life and teachings, in this case of Jesus. And excuse me. And with discipline, it's going to come training, instruction, upbringing. Okay, God disciplines His children like a father trains a son, shaping uh, shaping your character. It's not just punishment. It's not just punishment. Like what it says in 2 Timothy, read your word. All scripture is profitable for teaching, for reproof, for correction, and for training in righteousness. Okay, so it's a holistic um, gathering of these practices. Your submission to a higher authority, and your for me it's God, Yahweh, Father, God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, God of the Bible. Right? Why am I saying this? Um, it's it's about the flow, the being the person who attaches themselves to a master, to an ideal, to a discipline, um, under the process of discipline, the training, the instruction, the correction, the self control, so that you can be like the master. You can be like Jesus the Christ, the perfect life. You're not going to get perfection, but perfection really is the goal. That's where discipline and being a disciple and having this journey, the life of discipleship, is an ongoing journey of living as a disciple, both um, being formed, you know, the discipline itself, practicing the discipline, and then forming others, making your own disciples. Okay, um, so discipline, while it's often reduced to being just punishment, that's a part of it. Reproof, things like punishment, correction, but it's much richer than that. It's maturity. Punishment is backward looking. It's for wrong that's already done. Discipline is forward looking. It's to prepare you for growth. So discipleship, again, a life of ongoing growth requires discipline. It requires reproof. And if you can't discipline yourself under the discipleship of our source, God, then the world is going to discipline you in a whole nother way. That's not in harmony with our nature. Okay? And you can't be a disciple without embracing the disciplines. The prayer, the study, self-denial, the obedience. It's an ongoing journey. And I'm talking to myself when I'm saying this. When I make these videos, I'm talking to myself. Um, but there's a ultimate muse or ultimate archetype that we all strive for in the life of Jesus the Christ. That's what I subscribe to, and just that ideal. And we can break down the characteristics of Jesus, Yahweh, Yeshua, whatever you want to call him, that identity of the perfect man that we should strive for. Okay, so you submit to that formation, to that shaping, because it's about transformation. Uh, so training, again, we just reiterating the principles, the breakdown. Training, correction, instruction. That's the process. Okay, so be a disciple, a student of the training, the correction, and be in submission to the correction. Be agreeable to instruction, and then adopt the idea of being the way of life of a disciple, formed through discipline, which is the path to be the live the life of discipleship. Okay, so in a nutshell, discipleship is the disciplined life of a disciple, shaped by the discipline of a master, his ultimate authority. So when you think about discipline like that, what the levels of the process of being of discipline, the life of a disciple and discipleship. When you think about it like that, it makes it so much more potent to me. Makes it so much more purposeful to practice discipline, to pray, to get up and walk, to get up and create, to be agreeable to instruction, to be fully content with being under the authority of a higher power, a higher source. And so, whatever serendipitous occurrings that happen, I submit to that because I know it's part of the authority's plan. I know that when I am um, given strong intuition, an urge to move, to make to make a to make a move, to not make a move, I have to trust my relationship, my discipleship with the authority, with the master that I'm being taught. And when I go against that, I'm ready for reproof. So discipleship just makes it more deeper to me. I don't know why. Just talking to myself, really, man. It's just kind of affirming discipleship, living a life of discipleship, disciplined life of a disciple, shaped by the discipline of a master. That's all I got for you today. Peace and blessings. Take care.